Hi, welcome to our match against Lebowski, and we are still fielding our full strength squad. We've got our Allinger back. I think Bauer is the player who gets sacrificed here, just the least good defensive option, and he's sort of like can distribute and pass well and whatever, but I kind of feel like and he's got the lowest endurance out of the lot, so I kind of feel like he's better to have as a weapon off the bench, so to speak. And we just want to not concede the early goals, because this is ultimately, we know in these matches against offline users, we know that we're going to have the advantage in the second half. The place where we're going to lose all these matches is in the first half, and we just want to be set up more defensively in the first half, and that includes this slider here. So we got Allinger into the starting team. We've got a bit more defensive. We might even want a more. I think that's okay. I think that's enough mitigation here. They've had a player who start with a knock, so that works in quite well for us. I think that's going to give us an even bigger advantage. Backing off a little bit more now, because we know that I think we're okay with how things are going. They're not sort of about playing us, and even if because of this they happen to score a goal, that's okay. We just don't want to score. We just don't want to concede multiple goals, really. I think we can back off completely now. I think that's okay. That means at this point the most likely way we don't win now is if we're getting a player sent off. Keep 11 on the pitch, we probably win, so that's why de-risking that now. So it's just a whole bunch of applying, really. A lot of these things is just making sure you make the right decisions, and that's basically just not taking unnecessary risks. Also mitigating properly. And again, we've got a 2-goal lead now, so we can be a little more cautious now. We don't want to back off. We don't want to totally back off and have totally cautious tackling. We don't want to let them come into the match, because they're currently not in the match at all. So we want to keep them locked out of the match. And again, I think it's a similar story to the last match in some ways, that maybe we do want to put the tackling back, and maybe we just want to know at this point, just say, well, our game plan is just that 2 goals is enough to win. I don't think, though, in this match is a little bit different to the last one, in that I think we are going to get another goal in this match, whereas last match I wasn't certain that we absolutely would. And I think, let's put it something, because I think we can count on getting another goal if we keep 11 players on the pitch. So I think they aren't going to score 3. I'm pretty sure they aren't going to score 3, even if they get really lucky. So at this point, I think it is just keep 11 players on the pitch and score. I think we can up the tempo now, because playing into this overall mindset, there's a bigger event flow, so there's more chances that they could score. But at this point, I think that's fine. We can trade maybe 2 shots for every shot they have at this stage of the match, because I think what we're basically doing is, we'll put the tallying up a bit. So by playing with a faster tempo, we have more chance to get a 3-goal lead. We are mitigating it against the risk that we could have a player sent off. Because if we're winning by 3 goals, there's more chance that we will hold a 3-goal lead than hold a 2-goal lead if we have a player sent off, basically. Now obviously it does also increase the chances that they may score, and we will just have to adjust accordingly. A lot of this is just about a feel for how things are going, and actually I think we might have got the feel a bit wrong here, so we're going to slow the tempo back down. I think we overestimated how much we would take control of the match with a faster tempo, but we weren't controlling the match as much as I'd hoped we would. I was hoping we'd have 2 shots for every shot they had, but the ratio was a bit more like we're having 1-to-1, I think, or maybe a little bit more than 1-to-1, but that wasn't acceptable to take this risk. Creating twice as much as them was acceptable. I'm just going to pause now and take stock, because I think at this point it is going back to the previous game plan in the previous match. At this point we are just going to try and win with the 2 goals. And in many ways here we're actually fortunate to be winning 2-0. We shouldn't lose sight of that. We've only had 3 shots on target and they've had 7, and we're winning 2-0. So even though we've had more total shots, a lot more total shots, and more possession and stuff, our keeper's actually done really well. And this is one of those reasons why it's really important to have a good keeper, which we have now. For our level, we have a really good keeper, and in our squad rebuilding video, we do highlight the reasons why it's important to have a good keeper. And it's for matches exactly like this, because this is a match that potentially it wouldn't take that much of a lock swing at the moment for us to be losing 3-0, really. And if we're losing 3-0 right now, I don't know if we could come back from it. And yeah, obviously they haven't scored anything, but that's because of our keeper, right? So the keeper played a large role in that. And yeah, we have scored 2 ourselves, but we're actually a little bit fortunate to have scored 2. We've only had 4 shots on target. But even if we were losing, say, 3-2 right now, even if we had scored our 2 goals, even if we had been lucky like we have been and still scored the 2 goals, I'm just going to pause whilst I waffle on here. So even if we had been still with just as lucky as we have been, if they had scored 3 goals at this point, I wouldn't be sublimely confident that we are definitely going to score 2 more goals. I think if we pushed for it, we could probably get 1. We're not going to, but I'm just saying. So I think these are the type, your keeper he just gets you some points each season if you have a good one. They're just worth a certain amount of league points because sometimes they just get a result all by themselves. And I think it may not feel like that on the outside, but I think this is definitely typically one of those matches where we definitely could have dropped points if we just had a keeper that just had an absolute shocker of a match. And instead we've got a keeper with a 9, and I think, we've had another keeper concede, I think 4 or 5 goals in a match when they only had 6 on target or something. So, if that had happened in this match and we were losing 5-2 right now, I just don't think there'd be any way back for us. I just don't think that we could be guaranteed to score the 3 goals. So we're going to pause again. We're going to do a sub here. De-risking sub. And getting a fresh player out there. I think now we can go into pressing as well. And I still think we could get unlucky here and not win this. We're going to go aggressive tackling as well. We just really want to try and ensure that they just don't have many shots. So even if they kind of score off. I don't think we can guarantee to keep them to less than 2 shots, but we're going to try. Fresh defender on, and we're going to go slow tempo, so it's going to try and close out the 2-0 win again. Very similar to the last match in actual fact. You know, the way that the game is played out has been almost the same. Both matches, I don't know if we'll end up winning 2-0, but if we do, very similar. We'll talk about it at the end, the similarities. I've got a fresh striker on because of the injury. I've got to keep that aggressive tackling. He's come off the bench and scored. And can we close it out? We can. So, yeah, very similar to the last match. So I guess the only thing that didn't happen is they didn't have their striker injured at the end and get a super sub come on to score. But I think they've only had 1 shot in the closing stages there and happened to score off it. And this is exactly what we're talking about. So the plan at the end there from this sub, I think they've only had 1 more shot since that sub and they scored off it. So the plan from the point of this last sub, when we made the sub, got a fresh defender, brought the tempo down, aggressive pressing. The plan from that point really was just, if they don't have 2 shots, they can't score 2 goals. They can only score if they shoot. So limit them to a maximum 1 shot and then get a maximum 1 goal and we'll win. That was basically the plan, and it worked. So if they did have a shot, they did score, but they didn't score 2, basically. I'm pretty sure they didn't have 2 shots. Hopefully I'm not wrong there. I'm pretty sure they didn't. So ignoring this little ending, which wouldn't be ignored at all if they happened to have 2 shots and score 2 goals, it couldn't be ignored at all because we wouldn't have won. But at that bit aside, very, very similar how it played out. 2 goals, almost the same, very similar timing in the first half for both of them, and just really, I think the difference in the last match was that we, from the point where we scored the 2 goals, we tried to hold the 2-goal lead. In this match, we tried to push on and get more, and it really was a bad decision. It didn't work out. We misjudged the match, and instead just changed it up to hold the lead and successfully held it. So thanks for watching. Catch you for the next match.